Hi, Jim Gordon back with another small cap interview on location at the Fairmont Pac Rim Hotel in downtown Vancouver, right across the street from the Vancouver Convention Centre, where the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference is taking place. Good thing we are right across the street because we can bring over some great talent to talk about what's going on there and other things. Joining us, Peter Krauth is the publisher of Silver Stock Investor. He is the author of that book on the table right there, folks, The Great Silver Bull. Other things he does, which we'll get into. But first, Peter, welcome.
Thanks very much, Jim. Pleasure to be here.
Great to have you, sir, and thank you for crossing the street.
Not at all.
Before we get into some of the stuff you're doing, let's talk about the convention. Of course, we're here. It's great. It's nice and quiet, but I imagine nice and loud over there. What are you seeing, and what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm seeing a lot more activity than I saw last year. Apparently, registrations are up like 3 times what they were last year. And there's a buzz. There's no question there's a buzz. And I mean, the first thing I do say is that for the most part, a lot of the people attending are people who are already interested in the sector, but you can absolutely tell that there are people who are becoming interested who never were interested. And so I guess you could say the generalist investor is starting to get interested, and that's a very good sign for the sector.
Let's talk about your book, The Great Silver Bull. Is it just on the table there? First, where can people find it?
So it's available on Amazon. I recently released an audiobook version.
Oh, good.
So it's paperback, audiobook, and Kindle.
Right, okay. Let's talk about the book.
Sure. So what I decided to do was talk about silver and explain what I feel is a massive opportunity in this very particular sector. I think that it's in a lot of ways misunderstood. Silver is often compared to gold, but there are some big differences. Gold is, for the most part, about 90% of gold is for investment purposes.
Right.
Savings, wealth protection, and about 10%, even slightly under, is actually used somehow in technology, is used up. For silver, it's quite different. So about half, or even more than half, goes to industry. So that gets consumed. And the other half is used in some form of what I call investment. About 18-20% goes to what we call pure investment. Then you have another portion that goes to jewelry, and then you have silverware, and then the odd thing like, still there's a little bit of photography use and so on.
We should also mention you are part of the group at Resource Maven, where you have a silver-focused newsletter.
That's right.
Which is great, but tell our viewers a little more about what subscribers can enjoy and benefits that can be received at Silver Stock Investor.
So we decided that this was a market that was not properly served. As far as we know, it is the only silver-focused newsletter that there is, and not just in Canada, but probably in the English-speaking world. And so, in any case, there was another one until recently that actually got folded into a sister publication. And so, as I say, it's the only one that we know of. So I focus, of course, exclusively on silver, and because I do that, I cover the entire spectrum of silver investments. I talk to some extent about physical silver, and then I talk about silver ETFs, as well as silver mining ETFs, and then I run down the spectrum from the lowest to the highest risk. So that includes things like large producers and royalty companies, developers, and ultimately junior explorers.
I was going to ask you about things to watch, because that's what the newsletter's for, and we don't want to rob you of that, but look for that, Silver Stock Investors. I will ask you about Viscount Mining, though.
Sure.
Your thoughts on that?
So, very interesting company from my perspective. They have two, I guess, usually a flagship is a single project that stands out, but it's almost as though they've got 2 flagships. The one project in Colorado has some huge potential. A few months back, they released some geophysics and saw an incredibly large anomaly. In fact, the company that did the work for them said that they had never seen anything quite that large and go quite that deep, and the results were at the limits of what their equipment could show them. So this is something really quite impressive, and it's the highest conductivity that they've ever seen. So silver, it's interesting to note, silver is the single most conductive and the single most reflective of all metals. Everything else is benchmarked against silver. So to get that kind of feedback from the geophysics tells the company that the odds of what's there, because conductivity was so high, the odds of that being silver or some kind of blend of silver are quite high, and at least in my opinion. And so we're hopeful that's what turns out to be. The drills will tell us.
Lots of places where they can find your work. Website?
Silverstockinvestor.com.
And look for silverstockinvestors.com. Of course, at the website and the newsletter that you can find. Look for Peter as well as part of the group with the Resource Maven. The book is right there, The Great Silver Bull. Peter, thank you very much for joining us.
Jim, it's been my pleasure.
Great to have you here, sir, and we'll let you get back to the conference, which is happening right across the street. Another of our small cap interviews. I'm Jim Gordon. Thanks for watching.